Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala ashraf al-mursaleen Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ve aleyküm selam ve rahmetullahi ve berekatuhu. Ehlen ve sehlen.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most compassionate, all praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon His final messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and the mercy and the blessings of Allah be upon you all.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
So, Mr. Adnan Oktar, you write under the name of Harun Yahya. You are my brother in Islam. As a visitor to Istanbul this week, I will be, after we've spoken today, I'll be going to the airport. So in a sense, I can ask you anything I want and then go. I have no hidden agenda in anything I ask. My questions are just, I want to know the answer.
You are my brother and most sincere friend, and I approach you with great love and with great joy. So I would like you to feel comfortable and to behave in any way you want, to ask any questions you might have.
We begin then, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin with a reflection of mine, and then I ask you a question out of this reflection. I've been in Istanbul these last 3 days, and I've seen the most beautiful monuments from the Ottoman Empire. I've seen Topkapi Palace, and I've seen the Blue Mosque, the most beautiful mosque I've ever been in my life. Just so beautiful, exquisite. And I asked myself the first morning I was here, how has the Muslim world gone from this magnificence and beauty and praise of Allah? How have we come from that to where we are today?
The only reason for that is Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution and all the assumptions that come together with his theory of evolution. So Charles Darwin's theory has caused a collapse of belief among the Muslim world, and people started to be suspicious about the very existence of Allah. So it's a very dangerous thing to... So Marx, Hegel and Darwin and thinkers like them have spread to the whole of the Islamic geography, and people living in those geographies started to believe in their ideologies and in their way of thinking about the world. That also triggered the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, because once you lose the thread of true belief in a nation, in a country, that country is doomed to be collapsing. So this could not have been prevented, but everything could be much, much worse. But Allah has protected this, because Charles Darwin and his theory is now about to collapse. It has already collapsed. Now, Islam has a very bright future, because we have entered into the age of the Mahdi, the Savior. His golden age has already started, and Jesus Christ will soon to come to this earth. His resurrection is in the very near future. And Darwin, which is the Antichrist of our century, together with his ideology and his set of beliefs, have already collapsed, and he exists no more. So along with Darwin's collapse, ideologies of Stalin, Marx and Hegel and people like them have also disappeared. So we have a very bright future indeed.
MashaAllah. We come to creation and Darwinism a little bit later on, but just one further question about this from how we got from the Ottoman Empire to where we are today. It seems to me that there was more tolerance under the Ottoman Empire than we have now as Muslims, because it seems that from what I've seen, especially here in Istanbul, it seems to me that religious groups like Jews and Christians under the Ottoman Empire enjoyed freedoms and rights that maybe they don't enjoy today. Would that be right?
Of course you can say that, because during the Ottoman Empire, love, compassion and brotherhood and justice, these notions were much stronger when compared with today's conditions. That was a more powerful period. But in time they had these notions, these values have somehow been corrupted. So we can make such a comparison with the magnificence of the Ottoman Empire, because we cannot any longer see those magnificent values today in our present society. But in the very near future, which is the golden age that is about to begin, which is also the age of the Mahdi, the Savior, those values will come back to our society, and the conditions of the Ottoman Empire will be surpassed during that age. So we are moving in a very fast way to that golden age.
MashaAllah. Can we go right back to the start? And can I ask you, brother, how did you start your work? You're known all over the world. Your books have been translated into so many languages. You've millions of books sold. But go right back to the beginning. How did you start this work for Islam?
Well, I first started working in these fields when I was in high school, and this was the period when I first started to work on these issues on a conscious level. Then my studies went on, and when I won the Fine Arts Academy in 1969, I have seen the students there, and I had the chance to observe the life in the academy, and that encouraged me even more to focus on my studies, because I have also seen the atmosphere in which the students, the academicians, were in the Fine Arts Academy, because there was a very strong influence of Marxism and ideologies like that in the 99% of the population of the academy, between students and other academicians. So I felt greatly encouraged to work against those ideologies. And then I became a student of philosophy at Istanbul University, and I have witnessed and seen the same landscape, the same conditions in Istanbul University as well. So since that time, I have been working and writing books and preparing CDs and writing articles and trying to do my best to work for the cause of Islam.
And as we lay what we might say, we lay out our stall before we really get down to the meat of what we're going to talk about. There's one thing I do want us to say to the people who are listening, and that's that those people who speak or who work in Allah's cause experience suffering. And you, my dear brother, have suffered a lot because of the work you do. Could you just tell us something about that, about the suffering you have experienced in working for Allah?
En önemli herhalde bu akıl hastanesine gönderilmem oldu. Toplam 10 ay kadar kaldım akıl hastanesinde.
Well, one of the most important sufferings I have experienced was the one I had in the mental hospital. I was kept in that mental hospital for 10 months in a ward with other people who were psychologically ill, let's say. And that building was a very old building. It was in a very bad condition. It was about 150 years of age. And I was with people who had no consciousness and who were naked or half naked, who were tearing off their clothes and who were yelling and shouting all the time during the day. So 7 people among those people have killed people. 7 people were killed by those people when I was there in that hospital. They either broke their necks or attacked one another with steel trays. So there was every day such incidents, cries and shoutings and crises of the patients I had to see. And my mother used to visit me when I was in that mental hospital. And when she visited me, the other patients were trying to attack her. They were pulling her veil, and so that was something like a nightmare. It was like a horror movie. But Allah gave me great perseverance, and I could stand those conditions. One interesting example is, for example, I was chained to my bed. One foot of mine was chained, but that chain was very short one, which did not permit me to stand on the floor and to pray. So I requested that chain should be a little bit longer, for about 60 centimeters or so that I could put my foot on the floor and pray. And that request of mine was answered only for a while later, so that was a great comfort for me. So there are many other incidents and experiences like
akıl
that.
hastanesinde.
And who did this to you? Why did it happen?
Well, people thought that that was the necessary thing to do about me, and they did this. But then my report about my mental health was amended in the military hospital, and I was released from the mental hospital. But that was the outcome of a very long propaganda against me, because the Turkish media was talking about me as someone who was lying all the time and who was mentally ill and whose books should not be read at all. So with that report being amended by the military hospital, those series of lies have been stopped, and I got rid of that problem.
And did you find at the time help coming from anywhere? Was any help coming during this time, or you were just alone?
İşte annem